prospecting has changed. And we all know that. Hey, nobody is picking up the telephone. Nobody's answering your email. What are we supposed to do? I'm going to show you 5 things that you can be doing right now to change the narrative of how you prospect. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter, and the show begins right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter Podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
Because prospecting, for all intentional purposes, is dead as we know it, but it's not dead. It's just that the rules have changed. The expectations have changed because, hey, I can make 100 calls and how many people are going to pick up? Maybe 2. I can send out 100 emails. How many will respond? Maybe 2, 3. I mean, come on. Go ahead and say that you've got the solution. You really don't. Here's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that customers have got options. Now, we've known that for a long time. Customers also don't want to engage with salespeople. We've known that for a long time. Customers want to make the sale as complete as they can without a salesperson. We've known that for a long time. So what is it? It comes down to a level of narrative that we, the sales community, have been very slow to accept. You see, why won't the person take our call? Why won't the person respond to our email? It's because they have so many options out there and they don't trust us. You see, we have to change the focus of prospecting from really going for the close to going to establishing trust and credibility. I'm going to unpack this. In fact, I talk a lot about it in my new upcoming book, Integrity First Selling, coming out right after the first of the year. But here's what it is. Customers want to trust. The reason they go online to make a buying decision versus calling you is because they trust the online process more than they trust you. The reason they make a buying decision or not make a buying decision is because of this underlying factor of trust. Trust is much bigger of an issue than we realize. But the problem is, what's trust? What is trust and how do you go about creating it? Well, it comes down to credibility. You see, when you are credible, then the customer will accept you as being trustworthy. Trustworthy in and of itself is very hard to define. I'm not even going to attempt to define it here. But stop and ask yourself this question. The last purchase that you made, did you do it from a person you did not trust or a person that you did trust? That person who you trusted, did they have credibility? Yes, they had credibility. This is what I mean. This is how we unlock. You see, the sales process, the prospecting process needs to go from no longer talking about the product. It is not about a one-call close. It is now no longer selling the product. It is establishing credibility and trust. We have to establish credibility and trust for us to be able to understand and hear from the customer what is the need that they have. Only then, when we know what the need is that they have, can we even begin to think about putting a solution across the table. And that's totally different because in the past, years ago, you just would let, hey, buy my product, and people would buy it. Okay, so here's what it comes down to. And I'm going to go through this in descending order, the most important one first, down to number 5, in terms of these are the tools that you need to have at your disposal if you want to establish trust and credibility. Number 1 is a referral. If you can have a referral into the prospect that you're calling, that's absolutely golden. Now, that's going to be a thin slice. I totally get that. Understand it. But that is without a doubt the holy grail. So if that's what we got, you bet. When we change the narrative to trust, and Larry Levine is jumping in here, and I love it because again, this is trust in the eye of the beholder. Salespeople can be viewed as likable and friendly, as Larry writes, or trustworthy and credible. You see, it's not about just having the gregarious personality. It's about being credible. So here's where we're going with this. If I can have a referral, I'm going to be much more likely to be able to have a conversation with you. Second on the list is a common connection. You see, I may not be able to have a referral, but I may have common connections. Who are people that you know? Who are people that I know? And where's the commonality? This is where LinkedIn comes into play. This is where a lot of these online tools that allow us, but it isn't just throwing out a name, it's throwing out a name with credibility because there is actually a relationship there. This is where social media comes into play. Oh, social. I didn't say social selling. I said social media because, again, it allows me to establish a footprint. You see, because what happens is we have to have visibility out there. And we're getting that through common connections. But we get that more through number 3, industry recognition, involvement, and engagement. Now, stop and think about this for a moment. If I am recognized in my industry, either because of something I've done, something I participate in, something I help, then it establishes a level of credibility because I'm part of the industry. The salesperson who wants to be successful has to be seen as part of the customer's world. If they're not part of the customer's world, it's much harder to establish credibility. Number 4, can I demonstrate proven results? Now, proven results is something that I can control as a salesperson. It is, absolutely, without doubt. These are the case studies. This is the information. These are the things that the results that I'm able to share and walk customers through and help them see. I'm going to go ahead and, now, am I going to spray these out right from the start? No, I'm not going to spray these out. But when the opportunity arises, I'm going to share them. I am going to certainly place them on my website. I'm going to place them in other areas where customers can see and take hold of. You bet. You see, here's the whole thing. What we want to do is we want to be demonstrating to the customer that we have credibility. Andrew J is jumping in here. Thank you so much, Andrew J. Yeah, it's finding leads, and think of it like inviting someone on a walk. Exactly. This is what prospecting is all about. You're inviting them on a walk. You're not pushing them towards anything. You're really explaining together, and you're having a conversation. And when you do these things that I'm talking about, that it is amazing at how that actually begins to happen. Yes. Now, number 5 here is subject matter experts. And I'm going to go back through and I'm going to unpack these more. Subject matter experts. Who are the other people in your world, in your company, in your space that you can bring in on the journey? This is where there may be things such as a webinar, such as a lunch and learn, such as these opportunities where there's a subject matter expert involved. But now what I said here, if you stop and think about that, none of these 5 really, with the exception of maybe proven results, involved a product or a service. No. It involved human connection, and it involved the ability for a conversation to take place. Because this is what sales and prospecting is all about. See, here's what I found. If I try to prospect you and I come at you right away with the product, you turn me off. And you will never come back to me again unless you're in absolute dire straits. But with customer having options, there's no need for them to come back to us because they have options. This is why when I go in with a referral, excuse me, common connection, industry recognition, involvement, engagement, number 4, proven results, or number 5, subject matter experts, I have a much higher probability of being able to establish dialogue. Then I can begin to understand what is it that the customer is looking for. Up to this point in time, I have no clue what the customer is looking for. Now, they may fit my ICP. Okay, I get it. They may have common problems that I can sit there and say, yeah, but it doesn't happen. We have another LinkedIn user jumping in here and celebrate and amplify your client success. You're right, because when your client has a success, and now make sure that you can share it and you share it with others. It is amazing. That's the proven results. That also helps you fuel industry recognition and involvement. That also helps you fuel, if you think about them, common connections. That also can help you fuel referrals. Oh, interesting. Isn't this amazing? Hal, what we're doing is we're creating a flywheel here that's turning prospecting on its end. Now, does it mean it's a longer cycle? Yes, it is a longer cycle. Does it mean I've got to have more leads in my funnel? No, it doesn't. It means I need to have more better prospects in my funnel. What I've been talking about here today is how prospecting has changed. What I've been talking about here is how it's no longer about selling a product, but it's establishing trust and credibility in the first phase. To two, be able to understand the needs of the customer. To three, to be able to put your solution across the table. Violating those rules is going to have you delivering a price-oriented sale. And that's where I love to say that in the absence of trust, low price is everything. You've been listening to the Sales Hunter podcast. My name is Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Each week you get a new episode like this where we take one topic and unpack it. Second episode occurs on Thursdays where it's a subject matter expert joins me and we have a vibrant discussion. Hey, check out my new book coming out in January, Integrity First Selling. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great selling.